Hello everybody, welcome back to the third video of this course. In this video, we are going to talk about the flat colors. What are flat colors, you might ask? Flat colors are solid, uninterrupted colors that are equal in brushstroke, in depth, in value. Simply put, if we select outside of our ink lines, we invert the selection and in a new layer we call flat, give it a solid base color. This can be considered a flat color. It means that there is only one color, no gradients, no texture, only one solid color. Now we are going to do this for each and every single part of our drawing. One very good and very helpful method you should follow is to give each individual item its unique layer. For example, all the hair color is going to be put on the hair layer. Now right now, I am choosing a hair color we can give to our girl Link. What I am attempting now is trying to find a brownish color. Now, as it is a flat color, if I don't like it, I can simply change the color. This is one of the reasons why it is very important that you give every individual item its own layer. If we ever want to change the color of one individual thing, we don't have to start selecting our color amongst all other colors. We can simply go to one single layer and change the color there. I'm using a brush with hard edges. Why I do this is to make sure that when I give a line, for example, at the edge of the hair, that the line is straight without having any texture or strange or interesting texture to it. It will give it a clean enough line that if I make the selection, it will select it more or less perfectly along the edges without interfering with the color that is next to it. And little by little, I start coloring in my hair. Now keep in mind there are many different ways to do this. You can use a fill lasso tool. You can select everything first and then color it with the bucket tool. You can outline it and then use the bucket tool to click inside of your colored lines. There are many different methods. If there is a correct one, I don't believe there is. I believe you should use the one you feel comfortable with, but which also allows you to work efficiently. For me, for the purpose of this course, I'm going to use a very maybe longer taking, but for me a very effective method of making sure that my colors follow the exact line of my ink lines. Now keep in mind, coloring might be quite tedious. It might take you much longer than you anticipate, so make sure that you had enough time to step away from your art after we finished the previous video. It is important that you give your mind, your brain, your artistic brain as well, a moment to recover from intense work. Make sure, in the same way you made your ink lines, that the lines you make with your color on the edges is also confident. Now, what you should try not to do is to make it perfect. That doesn't matter per se. Perfect is something that a lot of people aim for, but very few people actually achieve. I'm not concerned with perfect. I'm concerned with, is it working? is it explaining the idea I have in my brain? If you follow along with this tutorial exactly, then you can copy the color I'm using right now, or you can choose your own color. That is the beauty of the artwork you're making. You decide what color you choose. However, regardless of the color you choose, make sure you follow the same method. Make sure that your outline, that your flat colors are clean, are straight, and that there is no variation in those colors. If you are not sure what color to choose, there are a lot of tutorials online for free that you can find that will explain to you perfectly how exactly you should decide what color to use. We will not cover it in this tutorial specifically, as this tutorial is not necessarily about color theory as much as it is about character design. For now, just continue on until you have outlined and colored in all the parts that belong to the hair. With the hair all done, make a new layer and put it underneath the hair layer. Name this layer Head. Then Control-click the flat layer. Then Control-Alt-click the hair layer. This will deselect the hair from your selection, making it that much easier to give a solid flat color to the head. I decided to rename this layer to green. This way, all the colors that I want green, for example for her skirt, for her outfit and for her head, can be on the same layer. I continue with a new layer for the skin, which I of course give the name skin to. To find the right skin color, there are many different methods. You can eyeball it, as I'm doing right now, although I would suggest find a reference if you are not sure. Find a reference of skin tones that you might prefer and simply color pig one version of that skin tone and make that the flat color for your skin. I have decided to make mine a bright reddish color. In the previous videos, when we were deciding what our character was going to look like, I briefly mentioned that the lines on her leg would either be the stockings or the leggings or some type of short. Now I've decided they are going to be leggings instead. You might have chosen something different, and that is, of course, perfectly fine. For me, I think it would serve her much better if her lower legs are being kept warm. The next one I am going to figure out will be the post bag. Now, I have my reference still that can give me a good idea of what I should do with this post bag, what colors I should give it. I use a similar tactic. I select the flat layer, the silhouette if you will, and I Alt-Control-click away the parts that I don't want to color on, for example the green layer and the hair layer. When I've done this, I start giving the flat color to the post bag layer. Sadly, my recording failed a small bit, but luckily only for a tiny bit. Now with the reference of the post bag, I handpicked the colors to make sure that it is more or less the same reddish color and more or less the same broken off-white color for the rest of the bag. You could, of course, give your version any color you want. Be creative. Now we continue with a layer for the scabbard, which is where you house the sword in. Similarly to our previous layers, I Control-click the flats layer and I Alt-Control-click any layer that I think I couldn't or shouldn't color on, which is the post bag layer, the green layer and the hair layer. After this, I simply start coloring in the parts that I want to have as a flat color for my scabbard. The scabbard, of course, is connected to the body via a belt, so I make a new layer, call it belt scabbard, and give it a nice brown color as you see me do here. It might seem like a lot of work to give each color its separate layer, but I can assure you that this will be much easier when we go into the shading and the lighting part of our course. Now, as you continue giving your individual parts of your character a flat layer, make sure you think carefully about which part are separate. For example, the boots and the leggings are separated. The belts might be separated. Or the pattern on the edge of the outfit are separated. Have a moment to look at your own art and think to yourself what parts you could and should give an individual color to. And very slowly, we come to the end of this tutorial video. We have given each of our individual parts, our legs, our shirt, our boots, the sword, the hair, each has their own layer. And we've given that layer a name, and we made sure that we can adjust that color wherever we need to, as you see me do here with the sleeves. What rests for me is to fix the eyes, to finish them, the eyes and the eyeball, the color. At this moment I am not quite sure yet which color I'm going to give it, but that's okay, because as we have everything on a separate layer, it doesn't matter. If we don't like that color, we simply change it. For now, I think I'm going to go with a color that might suit the hair. Green, for example. I might change this later, but for now, I'm giving the color of the eyes a complementary color compared to the color of the hair, which is much warmer, of course. And with that, we are coming to the end of this video. I hope you join me in the next video, where we are going to see how we can finally start going to the end of our character, giving our character those well-deserved details to make our character an amazing portfolio piece. I'll see you in the next video.